Welcome to class 9 physics. Today's topic is motion, that is chapter 8. I hope all of you are familiar with the term motion, isn't it? You see, in our day-to-day life, we see different objects moving, like a running child, a moving bus, flowing water, etc. Something is common in them. What is that? They are changing their position with time. So motion is change in position of an object with respect to time. Now different objects move in different manner. So depending on that, motion are of different types like rectilinear motion, periodic motion, circular motion, oscillatory motion, etc. and etc. Now what is rectilinear motion? Rectilinear motion means motion along a straight line. Circular motion means if the object is moving in a circular path, then it's circular motion. Oscillatory motion means if the object is moving like a pendulum of a clock, that is forward and backward, the to and fro motion of an object is called oscillatory motion. In a similar manner, periodic motion means if the object repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time, then that is periodic motion. Now you have already learned about all these 4 different type of motion in your junior classes. So your task is you have to write 2 example for each of the motion we have discussed here. Now the next term is rest. Again we see different stationary object around us like a building, trees, mountain, etc. etc. They do not change their position with time, so they are at rest. So rest can be defined in this manner. If the object does not change its position with respect to time, then the object is said to be at rest. Now you see this motion and rest, these two are relative terms. They are not absolute or perfect. I'll be giving you one simple example to make your idea more clear. Like suppose you and your friend, both of you are sitting in a moving bus. If somebody will ask what is your state, whether you are in motion or you are at rest, you can answer like this. With respect to your fellow friend, as you are not changing your position, so you are at rest. But if you see some object outside like a tree, with respect to the tree, the bus as well as you are changing position. So with respect to the tree, you are in motion. So an object can be at rest or can be in motion at the same time. So motion and rest are relative terms, they are not absolute. Understood? Here in this chapter we are going to discuss about motion in detail. So first of all we will be describing motion. To describe motion of an object, we need to define or we need to know few new terms. What are the terms here? The terms are reference point, distance, displacement, speed, acceleration, velocity, etc. etc. Clear? We will be discussing each of the point separately. Starting with your reference point. Reference point is also called origin. Now, just to make your idea more clear, I will be giving you one more example to say which one is the reference point. Now suppose somebody is asking you where is JVM Shamli. How will you describe the location of your school, that is JVM Shamli? You may say it is in the Macon colony, but Macon colony is such a big colony where your school is situated. You have to say it is near Macon Stadium. That means the person first of all have to come to the Macon Stadium. Clear? To locate your school. So Macon Stadium is the starting point or the origin or the reference point. So by saying reference point only, your description is not complete. In addition to the reference point, what you need to say how far your school is from the reference point. You may say it is 200 meter or 300 meter away from the reference point, that is the stadium, isn't it? But that is even not sufficient. You have to say in which direction the person has to go, 200 to 300 meter. You may say forward direction or north or south or east or west, like that. So to describe the location of an object, you need 3 things. What are the things? The things are your reference point, distance of the object from the reference point, and its direction. Not only for a stationary object, if the object is moving, then also you need these 3 things to describe the location. Like one bus is moving. Suppose I am saying the bus is moving with a speed 30 km per hour. After 1 hour, where the bus will be? You may say it is 30 kilometer away from where? From maybe from the bus stop. That means bus stop is here, is your reference point. Then 30 kilometer, in which direction the person has to go? So along with the 30 kilometer, that is the distance, bus stop, that is the reference point, you have to say the direction. So to describe the location or the position of an object, whether it is stationary or a moving object, you need these three things: reference point, distance of the object from the reference point, and its direction. Understood? Next term is distance. Distance also you have learned in your junior class. How to define distance? Distance means the total length of the actual path covered by an object. Here you see I have drawn one figure. The object is moving from A to C like this. Clear? What is the total distance covered? Here you see total distance is equal to the length of the path, that is AB plus AC, that is 7 meter. But if I will say what is the displacement of the object? Displacement of the object is from A to C, that is AC. A is our initial point, C is our final point, and the displacement is the shortest distance measured from the initial to the final point. That is the straight line distance measured from initial to the final point. As AB and BC, they are making right angle, so this AC can be easily calculated by Pythagoras theorem. Clear? AC is equal to square root of AB square plus BC square, that is equal to 5 meter. Here you see distance and displacement are different. So these two are different quantity. So the amount is also different. Here the displacement is less than that of your distance. Now come to the second example. The object is moving from A to D through B and C. The length of each segment is given here. What is distance covered is equal to the total length of the path, that is AB plus BC plus CD, and that is equal to 32 meter. But what about displacement? Displacement is your AD, and AD can never be equal to 32 meter. Understood? Okay. Now come to the third example. Third example, the object is moving in a circular path of radius R. Suppose the object is starting from A and reaching back to A. Clear? After one round. What is the distance covered? Distance covered is equal to the circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r. What about the displacement? As the initial point and final point is, both of them are coinciding here, so displacement is equal to 0. You see, displacement can be 0, but distance can never be 0. Clear? Got it? Come to the third example. Object is moving along a straight path from O to C and again returning along the same path till B. What is the total distance? Total distance is equal to OC plus BC, that is 40 meter. But what about displacement? Displacement is the distance between the initial point, that is O, and the final point, that is B. Clear? That is equal to 20 meter. Clear? So you see distance and displacement are different, and displacement is less than that of distance. Come to the next example where the object is moving along a straight path from A to B. The length of the path is 50 meter. Clear? What is the distance? Simply distance is the actual length, that is 50 meter. What about the displacement here? Displacement is the distance between the initial and the final position, that is A to B, that is even 50 meter. So here if the object is moving along a straight path, so distance is equal to displacement. But in the same situation, if I will be asking you what is the displacement towards A, though the object is moving from A to B, I am asking you displacement along the opposite direction. So displacement in the opposite direction can be indicated by a negative sign, that is minus 50 meter. Here this minus sign is indicating direction, not the amount. Understood? So displacement can even be negative. So children, there are few quantities which are negative. Clear? Which are associated with direction. So depending on that, in physics, physical quantities are divided into two different types: scalar quantity and vector quantity. I hope you know what are physical quantities. Physical quantities means the quantities that can be measured. Like you can measure time, you can measure temperature. So these are all physical quantity. But as I am saying, they are of two types. One is scalar, another is vector. Scalar means the quantities, they do not need direction for their description. They can be completely described by their magnitude. Like if I am saying the length of the table is 2 meter, you are getting a complete idea about the length. Clear? You do not have to mention any direction over here. So length or the distance is a scalar quantity. Some other example of scalar quantities are mass, time, temperature, speed, etc., etc. But if you will consider vector quantities they need magnitude as well as direction for their complete description. Some of the vector quantities are displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, momentum, etc. You will be learning about these vector quantities in your higher class in detail. Next term is your speed. Definition of speed you have even learned in your junior class. How to define? Speed is nothing but distance covered by an object per unit time. What is the formula? Formula is speed is equal to distance by time. Symbolically, how to write this? Symbolically, I will be writing V is equal to S by T, where V represent speed, S represent distance and T represent time. Do not write S for speed and D for distance. You have to adopt this formula V is equal to S by T. Clear? What will be the SI unit of speed? SI unit of speed is SI unit of distance divided by SI unit of time, that is meter per second. Clear? Now children, speed can be of two types, uniform speed and non-uniform speed. If the object is moving with a constant speed throughout its journey, then the speed is uniform. Like a bus is moving with a speed 30 km per hour throughout, so it is uniform speed. But what about non-uniform speed? If the speed of an object during its motion changes, then that is non-uniform speed. If the bus is moving in a crowded place, the bus cannot maintain its speed constant, so it is non-uniform. Understood? Okay. I have given here some example. You see, the object is moving from A to D through B and C. The length of each segment is given, that is 10, 10, 10. And the time interval in each segment is even given 5 second, 5 second, 5 second. If I will be calculating speed in each interval separately, in the interval AB, the speed is equal to 10 meter divided by 5 second, that is 2 meter per second. In the second interval, when it is 2, third interval, when it is 2. That means speed of the object throughout the journey is constant. It is uniform speed. Whereas in the second situation, the object is moving from A to E. The length of each segment is again given. The time interval is given. If you will be calculating speed in each interval, in the interval AB, the speed is 2 meter per second, whereas in the interval BC, it is 4 meter per second. In the interval CD, it is 0.4, and the last interval it is 3 meter per second. As the speed is changing, so it is non-uniform speed or variable speed. Now, depending on the type of speed, the motion can even be of two different types. One is uniform motion, another is non-uniform motion. What is uniform motion? If the speed is fixed and if the direction is even fixed, the object is moving along a straight path with a constant speed. Clear? Like a bus is moving on a straight road with a fixed speed, then the motion is uniform. Whereas non-uniform, if the object is moving with a variable speed, clear? Then the motion is non-uniform. Understood? Now children, we will be discussing about next term, that is velocity. Clear? Velocity is, it is new to you. Clear? Speed you learn in 7, but velocity now we will be learning. What is this velocity? Velocity means the distance covered by an object per unit time along with direction along a straight line or along a fixed direction is called velocity. That means distance covered by an object per unit time along with direction. Distance with direction is called displacement. So, the formula for velocity is displacement divided by time. But symbolically, we will also be writing V is equal to S by T. Why? Because our study is restricted in rectilinear motion. So, along a straight line path, distance is equal to displacement. So, we will be adopting the same formula V is equal to S by T. In a higher class, we will be learning little bit change in this formula. V is equal to S by T. Now, for your standard. What about its unit? Unit is meter per second as that of your speed. Clear? Got it? Now, you see velocity can be even of two different type, uniform velocity, non-uniform velocity. Uniform velocity is what? If the object is moving along a straight line, that is the direction is fixed, covering equal distance in equal interval of time, that means the speed is fixed, then the velocity is also fixed or constant or uniform. Here you see, in every interval the velocity is 2 meter per second, speed is 2 meter per second, and direction, that is straight, no change in direction. So velocity in each interval is 2 meter per second, so it is uniform velocity. Now you see, for non-uniform velocity, as velocity is a vector quantity, it can be changed either by changing the magnitude, that is the amount speed, and or by changing the direction, or by changing both. Here you see, I have given one example. The object is moving from A to E. Clear? Got it? And each interval you see, the speed is fixed, but as the path is zigzag, so direction of motion is not fixed, so velocity is non-uniform here. Clear? Next example you see, the object is moving along a straight path, but as the speed is changing, so velocity is non-uniform here. Clear? Got it? Velocity is non-uniform here. So this is your uniform and non-uniform velocity. Now you come to another thing. You see here another example. The object is moving along a straight path A to D. You see, at every point the velocity is given. That is your, at point A it is 2 meter per second, at point D it is 8 meter per second. But you see, velocity is increasing, so the motion is non-uniform, velocity is even non-uniform. Under this situation, we can talk about a term that is called average velocity. Clear? Average velocity. But what is that average velocity? How to calculate it? Here you see, though the speed is increasing throughout the journey, but the speed is increasing at a uniform rate. That is, at every point it is increasing by, every interval it is increasing by amount 2 meter per second. So under that situation, average velocity can be calculated by using the formula initial velocity, that is u, plus final velocity, that is v by 2. So average velocity is equal to u plus v by 2. This formula can only be used when the object is changing its velocity at a uniform rate. Now come to the next topic, that is called acceleration. During the motion, the velocity of an object may change. If the velocity is changing, then we can talk about acceleration. Acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Clear? Got it? How to write it in formula? In the form of formula, acceleration is change in velocity by time. Change in velocity means the difference between the final velocity and initial velocity. Final velocity is noted by v, initial velocity is noted by u. So acceleration is v minus of u by t. What about the unit? Unit is same as that of unit of change in velocity divided by unit of time. So after calculation, you will be getting SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Now acceleration can even be of two different types. One is uniform acceleration, another is non-uniform acceleration. What is uniform acceleration? Uniform acceleration is if an object travels along a straight line and the velocity increases or decreases by equal amount in equal interval of time, then the acceleration is uniform. That means the velocity has to change at a uniform rate. You see the example here. The object is moving along a straight path from A to E. The velocity is increasing constantly at a uniform rate. At every interval, it is increasing by amount 2. So acceleration at every interval, it is 1 meter per second square. So acceleration is constant here. But what is non-uniform acceleration? If the velocity of an object changes at a non-uniform rate, then the acceleration will be non-uniform. Like this example you see, I have given. The object is moving along a straight path A to D. Velocity at every point is given, it is different. So acceleration during each interval cannot be equal, so they are different. So acceleration is non-uniform. Acceleration can even be of two different types. Positive acceleration and negative acceleration. What is positive acceleration? If the velocity of an object is increasing during its motion, like we have already learned, A is equal to v minus u by t. If v is greater than u, that means object is moving with increasing velocity. Initial velocity is less, final velocity is more. V minus of u, this v minus of u will be a positive quantity. If it is positive, then a will be positive. So, under that situation we can say the acceleration is positive. But if the object is moving with a decreasing velocity, that means suppose a bus is moving and trying to stop, has to apply brake. So, under that situation v, the final velocity will be less than that of your initial velocity. Clear? Got it? So, that term v minus of u will be a negative quantity. It is negative. So, a is negative. So, as a is negative, so we can say the object is retarding. Understood? Object is retarding. Here one example is given. A bus is increasing its speed from 18 km per hour to 36 km per hour in 10 seconds. Calculate its acceleration. Here u is equal to 18 km per hour, v is 36 km per hour, t is 10 seconds. But to calculate acceleration, we need to change all the unit in same system. So, this 18 km per hour is equal to 5 meter per second. You can even calculate 36 km per hour is 10 meter per second. After calculation, what we will be getting? A is equal to 0.5 meter per second square. Here children, you see there is a misprint. It is meter square. The unit of acceleration is meter per second square. It is not meter per second. So, here it is meter per second square. But if the bus is applying brake and decreasing its speed from 36 km per hour to 18 km per hour, under that situation if you will be calculating the value of A, the value of A will be here minus 0.5 meter per second square. Again there is a misprint. It is meter per second square. Clear? Got it? So, as the acceleration is negative here, the object is retarding. So, children, we have learned all the terms. Today our study is up to this only. What you need to do? You need to solve all the questions related to this topic from your exercise, as well as try to solve the example that are solved and unsolved example from your NCERT book, and go through the matter. That is enough. Thank you, children.